course, I got the poems as per usual. Well, and this first poem is called Rest in Peace. As a kid, I watched as you walked into the ring, slowly, intimidating the other guy in there. The bell sounded, the large figure strolled in the large hat and coat. Chokeslam, tombstone piledriver. The fans went wild. Now your journey in the ring has ended, but you will never be forgotten. The dead man always rises again. Hashtag thank you, Taker. So, if you haven't been able to figure it out, this post, I did post the poem, but the poem itself was dedicated to The Undertaker. So I think I wrote this around Survivor Series 2020, when they did the 30-year celebration for The Undertaker. Either that or around when he officially retired, which happened within the same year. He had, back in 2020, he had the match with AJ, and then he retired soon after, said, that's it, I'm not going to be in the ring anymore, and then they had the 30-year celebration with him at a Survivor Series, and then, of course, 2 years later, he got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. So, with that, I wanted to show love to The Undertaker, arguably one of the best wrestlers of all time, probably my absolute favorite wrestler of all time. Awesome to see. I remember growing up watching him throughout his career. I was kind of late for his career. I started watching it in '08, and this was around when Undertaker wasn't really as slow moving yet, but you could tell he was starting to age a little bit, but he was still like regularly on SmackDown and everything. He was feuding with like Edge and stuff, and then he'd feud like CM Punk the next year or so. Undertaker was still pretty active around when I started watching, but of course growing up with him and then reading a lot of the lore behind him and then going back and watching the older stuff with The Undertaker. A lot of fun stuff and a lot of cool stuff. So Undertaker, thanks so much for the memories. He was my grandmother's favorite wrestler before she passed. I remember she would talk about him all the time, how much she just adored him. So Undertaker, thank you for making my childhood so incredibly awesome. And thanks for all the memories. And it's crazy to think, he was in WWE for 30 years, from 1990 all the way to 2020. Think about, in terms of like his in-ring career and everything, but think about all the names, all the WWE superstars that came and went in that time period. It's insane. He was there for the Attitude Era, the New Generation Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, the PG Era. He was there for guys like Cena and Batista, and then more modern guys like AJ Styles and a lot of the NXT names and everything. And he was there for just about all of it. And a lot of the guys that were there when he was there that went on, a lot of guys that came and went while he was there for all of it. Never left, never jumped ship for WCW or ECW, and then never jumped ship for other promotions starting up like Ring of Honor and TNA. He was definitely loyal, and they definitely rewarded him by keeping his streak intact at least until 2014, and treating his appearances like a big deal because they were, and giving him so much. They definitely rewarded all his hard work and dedication, which is definitely deserved. So thank you, Undertaker, for sure. And so The Undertaker, one of my absolute favorites, and it's crazy to think, like I said, he was around that entire time. But nevertheless, let's get into the next one. This one's called Sun, Moon, Stars. The sun, shining bright, greeting the day and bringing warmth. The moon, dimming things down, ending the day with a calming cool. The stars, to light the way and remind us we are one yet many. So, pretty much play on the sun, moon, and stars. You know, the sun is out during the day and everything, being pretty bright, providing a lot of warmth and everything. And by the time nighttime rolls around, things cool down. It's usually colder at night, and we've got the moon and everything. Not as much light, even though it gets its light from the sun and everything. And the stars are, of course, like I said, lighting the way, like the constellations and everything, and reminding us that we are one yet many. A lot of people have the belief that the stars are made up of people who are no longer with us, but are in star form now. And so pretty much just the world in general. This last one's called "This Is Why People Burn Down Fast Food Joints and Whatnot," and this is by Jacqueline Allen Trimble. Question: How do others sin against you? Answer: by cursing me, telling lies about me, or striking me. Question: What must you do to those who thus sin against you? Answer: I must forgive them. See, I learned my catechism well. Oh, if I mispronounced that, I apologize. Learned to offer my cloak and coat, my cheek again and again as the skin was splayed from my body. I can quote Martin Luther King Jr. with ease, praise the Americana of his martyrdom, the sweet, unselfish beauty of that bullet's velocity. Shall I sing, we shall overcome, while I swing? I have wanted so long to believe in justice, to think of each blow as recompense for my wickedness. How can I continue? How can I continue? How can I continue to take and eat this image of myself, choke on the eloquence of my dissent, speak love fluently to someone with his knee on my neck, his bullet in my child? So, judging by the context of this poem, it can be assumed that this was written around the time of like the police brutality and everything, which sadly is still going on. More specifically, what happened with George Floyd, right? And sad, like I said, that this stuff is still going on, and it's ridiculous that it's still going on. But sadly, it's still going on, and very powerful poem, and a lot of very powerful themes of racism and being taught to pretty much turn the other cheek and almost feeling helpless, like you can't really do anything but just move on. And you can feel the distress and being upset at having to pretty much move on, even though all these bad things are happening, just because of the color of your skin and everything. And she brings up Martin Luther King and how he wanted equality and everything, but how can there be equality with the stuff still going on? And that's the question that a lot of people have asked, as especially people of color, because with this stuff happening to us, how can there be equality? How can we just sit back and just try to live our lives and everything, and while still trying to like peacefully protest this stuff? How can we, when this stuff is still going on, it's still happening? And so and that's why I definitely love this poem, and I think the way Jacqueline puts it here is fantastic and incredible and phenomenal. And the way the words are spun, how you see the contrast between the stuff that we're supposed to do with this stuff still going on versus the stuff actually going on. You can see the contrast, you can see the anger behind how am I supposed to keep moving on when the stuff is happening and everything. So I thought it was a really fantastic and really powerful poem there in that regard. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and share it with your friends.